635 miles of coastland, 70 beaches, 7 waterfalls, and 2.8 million people. These are just a few facts of Jamaica, West Indies, the place where my parents were born, and also the place where 10 of 11 of my siblings were born. Author Nick Davis states, Jamaica is much more than sandy beaches and luxurious resorts. And I agree. Whenever I tell someone that my family is from Jamaica and they have been to Jamaica, they say, oh, we had a wonderful time. The beaches were wonderful, the resorts were great, and the people of Jamaica were so laid back and friendly. Well, these friendly, laid back people are a diverse group, and today we're going to look at their diversity. We're going to go over history to present day. We're going to start off with the Tian Indians, who were the first settlers, and they are a subgroup of the Arawak Indians that were first seen by Christopher Columbus. The next group are the Spanish settlers, and they arrived in Jamaica in 1509. Next, we have the British settlers, and they came over basically in 1655, and not only did they come over to Jamaica, they conquered Jamaica, and the Spanish settlers fled. Not before, though, leaving mixed children between themselves and the British. The next group of settlers were the African American or African slaves. They came over during the Atlantic slave trade to assist with labor. You see, the British settlers began to plant plantations, and the main produce was sugarcane. As the plantations grew, so did the product of sugarcane, and more laborers were needed. The next group of people basically were Indians, and they came over to help as indentured laborers because slavery had been abolished at that time when they came. The next group of people are the Chinese, and the Chinese settlers came over to help as laborers as well in 1845. Next, we have the Lebanese and the Syrians. They came over just to set up shop, just to have new residents, and they came over and mixed with the Jamaican population. Everyone by this point were mixed in with each other. The only group that did not have children with the others is the Indian group, and they had children amongst themselves at that time. Currently today, Jamaica's population is 2.8 million, as stated earlier. And I will tell you that 76.3% of that population is of pure African descent. We then have 15.1% that is Euro-Afro-Jamaican. Next, we have a percentage of 3.4%, which is Caucasian. Then we have a percentage of 3.2% that is Indian Afro-Jamaican. Next, we have the percentage of 1.3% that is Chinese descent. And next, that last bit of, I believe it's 0.8, is just a mixture of everybody together. So this well-rounded and diverse group basically has made its mark in the world in various places. If we look at the portion of government that has been served in, we have to look at Colin Powell, who is Jamaican American. We also have to look at David Patterson, who was the 55th mayor of New York City. Then in the area of music, we have Bob Marley, who is Afro-Chinese Jamaican. At the 80s, or in the 80s, we had a group that was Indian Jamaican called Five Star. And currently on the hit show The Voice, we have Tassan Chin, who is Chinese Jamaican. If we look at the area of sports, we see Usain Bolt, who is just breaking all kinds of records in track and field. He is currently labeled the fastest man in the world. He is African Jamaican. Patrick Ewing, who used to play for the New York Knicks, is also Afro-Jamaican or African Jamaican. And if we look in the area of film, Stephen Houston is Caucasian Jamaican, and he has directed such films as Predator 2, Blown Away, and Nightmare on Elm Street 5. And my favorite subject of all, fashion, presents itself with Tyson Beckford, who is a male model. He is Afro-Chinese Jamaican. Naomi Campbell, who is also Afro-Chinese Jamaican. And Grace Jones, who is Afro-Jamaican. Jamaica is such a lush land filled with diverse people who have made serious contributions in the world. It is quite fitting that Jamaicans' motto would be, out of many one people. So the next time you see someone who is Indian, Chinese, or Caucasian, please don't assume. Their born identity just might be Jamaican.